Man, I am so excited. It's been a great year, actually a great 2 years. We were
Yeah.
11-2 last year. We haven't lost in 21 straight games, which is probably one of the longest streaks in the nation right now. So this team is playing at a level that they just have tremendous confidence, and it doesn't matter if they're underdogs. It doesn't matter if the games are close. They find a way to win somehow, and that's what I love about this team.
Yeah, it feels like it's going to be a fun game. And I don't know if they, would have preferred Texas being it for TV ratings, but I mean, unbeaten teams. It feels like a great game. You got Washington, who is 4.5 points or so underdogs. Warren, why are they going to win this game?
Well, again, just what I talked about, they find a way to win. They've been
Yeah,
an underdog in their last three games, I think it's been, and
yeah.
it seems like nobody gives them the respect they want. And I think this team feeds off of that. That even though we're undefeated, haven't lost in 20 games, nobody wants to give us the advantage of winning football games. So they were underdogs in the Pac-12 championship against Oregon. They beat them. They were underdogs last week against Texas and beat them, even though they're rated higher. And they're underdogs this week. So I think they use that as fuel to say, okay, if we're being disrespected, this will give us some motivation to go out there, a little extra motivation to win the game.
Yeah, one more game and it'll be hard to continue to disrespect them. Uh, Warren. Obviously, Michael Penix Jr. is getting, I think, an incredible amount of buzz right now. A lot of people talking about him. You look at some of these mock drafts for whatever those are worth, and he's rising. How about his play and how good he has been?
Michael, he's been this way the last 2 years. I mean, he led the nation in passing last year, came back again and led it again this year. He's a Heisman Trophy runner-up, Pac-12 Player of the Year. I mean, he's had a tremendous 2 years at the University of Washington. I think the biggest negative on him is his injury history. He had some injuries at Indiana before he came to the University of Washington, but the last 2 years he's been completely healthy. And I think you saw last week how good an athlete he is too. He used his legs a lot more last week than I've seen him use them this year, because he's been really careful about not wanting to put himself in a position to get hurt. But in these big games like this, he's been able to move around. He's been able to buy time. He's also been able to run for some positive yards. So those are the things I think that people are seeing now for the first time nationwide. They just didn't know, about Michael Penix other than that they saw his name and they saw the stats.
Right.
But now they got a chance to see him actually play.
Right. So it sounds like it's not that he has necessarily been playing better than he was because he was always good. The country just now finding out about him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're
How do you
finding out
rank
about
these?
the University of Washington as well. I mean,
You're not
we're
kidding.
tucked up here way up in the Pacific Northwest. Not too many people, follow us. And then the Pac-12 doesn't have a great TV contract, so people don't get to really see you around the country. We were the same way when I was in college. We played Michigan in the Rose Bowl, and nobody knew who we were either. But we were 17-point underdogs, but we ended up winning the football game. So you gain your respect by doing the work on the field. I think the Huskies will do that Monday night.
That's awesome. How do you rank the quarterbacks, Warren? As we are obviously, once we play a few more games here, we're gonna get into the offseason. We're gonna start talking about the draft. I mean, you've got years where there aren't, at least perceived to be good quarterbacks. This year, not one of those years. I mean, Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, and of course Michael Penix Jr. In addition to a couple other guys. How do you rank those quarterbacks there, Warren?
There's five guys there, like you just mentioned, that could probably go in the first round. And we all know how quarterback is such a needed position that some teams will reach and go for a guy that they probably not deserve to be up there, but because you need one, you end up taking him higher than probably he should. But Caleb Williams is probably the cream of the crop right now. I think that's who everybody's looking at. Even though his team didn't do that well, he still did tremendously well on the field. Drake May is a guy I look at it as being kind of up and down.
Yeah.
I think Michael's maybe moved ahead of him, and I also think Jaden Daniels, because of the way he finished the season, winning the Heisman Trophy, and that he's a very slender guy, only about 190 pounds, and that's something I think teams are going to look at for durability and things like that. But I think Michael has really moved up, and again, probably five of those guys will go in the first round just because teams need them so badly.
It sounds like you could make the case for him being the second ranked quarterback behind Caleb Williams.
Yeah, I think once he goes through the scouting process and goes through the combine and watch him throw, and then they watch him throw in his his pro day coming up. I think he's going to really dazzle people with his arm talent, because I watch him throw, and I've watched a lot of quarterbacks throw the football, Mike, and this guy throws as pretty a ball as mine.
Yeah.
Only he's left-handed, and left-handed because of the rotation being different. It makes the ball look a little bit different.
It does look different to watch him throw. I actually saw somebody who had flipped it around and made him a righty, and then it looks normal then.